Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Find Yourself in a Character. My weekly video series takes us on an exploration of some of my favorite characters and their journeys. I'm Jenny D, writer, consultant, and international promoter of Love and Triumph. In this week's episode, I'm going to be reviewing The Guest List by Lucy Foley. Now, there are lots of characters in this book, and I couldn't settle on one, so I'm going to talk about a whole bunch of them after I tell you how absolutely hauntingly fabulous this mystery was. It actually made me realize that I don't read enough mysteries, and I really like them. So I think some romance might need to be put on hold for a little bit of drama and suspense. So the premise of the book was a whole bunch of people went to a wedding and there was a murder and it was a whole whodunit. And I got to tell you, it kept me guessing until the end. And I was surprised. It was a twist and I was happy with the twist. Sometimes, like I just recently watched something on Netflix and I'm like, the ending was a good twist, but I don't know. It left me wishing it could have gone somewhere else. But this left me completely satisfied. I loved every bit of it. So I saw myself in so many of these different characters. Maybe not too much of the bride, although she's very particular and she wants things her own way and she expects people to follow her rules. And I might be a little bit like that. So I could relate to her. And then there was the bridesmaid who was always overlooked and, was sweet, but had this tough exterior, and I can relate to that. And then there was the crazy ass best man who I originally thought I couldn't relate to, but he harbors a lot of guilt and feels bad about things. So you wouldn't expect him to. And I don't know, there's a little bit of me in there in that, I don't know, the littlest things that I do wrong, I feel really, really, really bad about. And then I'll think about it forever. So I saw that in me. And then there was who else was there? Oh, the plus one who was this guy's wife. And not to get too much into the story, but I think I related to her most because she's had a rough life and there's things that happened and the way she's trying to make up for it or trying to make life better for herself and her husband, trying to understand the past so that she can move forward. I could relate to a lot of her journey in that aspect and the betrayals that she's gone through and things of that nature. And not just her overall personalities seemed out of all the characters one I related to most. And then there's the wedding planner who had to make sure everything was perfect, was a people pleaser. I might know something or two about that. So it was such an involved, wonderful book of all these rich characters, and they all had this motive for murder, but not in a sense of like, you think that they're crazy murderers. It's like, wow, you can see how they would have been driven to it. And I found the whole premise of the book fascinating, how it unraveled. It didn't just do it once, it was in so many layers and all these great characters. I mean, there wasn't one that I really disliked that wasn't featured. I mean, there were a couple of other guests that I was like, okay, guy. But anyway, I think it was a thrilling book. It really was well written and it drew you in. I didn't want to put it down, and I did admit I might have jumped ahead because I needed to see who died. And I know you're not supposed to do that, but I'm a spoilers girl. And it kind of made the unraveling richer for me by cheating like that. I don't recommend it. That's not the way the story is supposed to go. But if you like mysteries, if you like suspense, and it wasn't gory suspense or anything, that which is perfect because I get too squeamish. So if you're looking for that kind of book, it was Goodreads, I think #1 mystery of 2020. So go check it out. It is The Guest List, Lucy Foley, up here so you can see it. I'm Jenny D. If you want to learn more about me, you can find me at www.jennydauthor.com. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you next week where you can find yourself in a character.